So Elonia Muskrat and Taco Bone Spurs are at it again. The emotional men are fighting. Now, Elonia Muskrat has been tweeting for the past couple of days about how if they pass this bill, which I think they already have, he is going to primary every single person that voted the bill. So he's been tweeting about that. He's been tweeting about starting a new America party because both parties are unreliable. He should really keep the majority of the Democrats out of it. This is a Republican bill. Do not get it twisted. Everything that is about to happen because of passing this bill is a Republican problem. It is Republican created, Republican signed, Republican co-signed. This is all the Republicans doing. Everything that you are about to feel because of this bill is because of the Republicans. There will be no both sides about this, because if the Democrats had their way, this bill would not have passed. So just know that. But Elonia Muskrat is upset and wants to start his own America party. All right, I'm here for it, because that wouldn't do anything but fracture the Republican Party anyway. Any Democrats that would have gone to them are the Democrats that either didn't vote or voted for third party anyway in the past election. So bye-bye. But Elonia Muskrat is mad because in that bill, it takes away a lot of subsidies for his EV companies, a lot of incentives for people to buy EVs like his Tesla, even though he claims that taking away those incentives would help Tesla. I highly doubt that. I think he's just blowing smoke. He is talking in his tweets about how it's going to blow up the debt, and it is. That bill is going to blow up the debt. So any fiscal conservatives who wanted small government, it's not going to be small when it comes to tax cuts for the rich and giving high corporations who already have money even more money and more power. When it comes to limiting judicial power, and it's not going to be small when it comes to heightening executive power. It's not small, except for if you need help, you won't get it. But let's remember who Elonia Muskrat is. When he got into Doge, his whole thing, the whole sell, the whole way that he tricked all the gullible people into cheering on their own demise is by saying that he was going to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, which was basically code for we're going to get rid of all of the subsidies that black people use, which we don't actually use nearly as much as the white population per capita. These programs are more prevalent in red states with a higher percentage of Caucasian people than they are in other places. But I digress. So he sold this lie on waste, fraud, and abuse. But instead of actually targeting waste, fraud, and abuse, which would be the Pentagon, who failed 7 audits in a row, the last one being in November 2024, they went against things like USAID, which used half of 1% of the federal budget, lying about transgender mice when it's transgenic mice. And gullible people really thought that mice were getting gender reassignments. But I digress. So he goes against USAID, who were investigating his ties to China, and his businesses, including Starlink. He went against the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which were actually putting money back into Americans' pockets, going after banks who were defrauding citizens. He went after them because he didn't want them having any oversight over his new X-payment system. He went after the Department of Labor, the National Labor Relations Board, and the EPA, all of which would have oversight over his businesses. And he already said that he fires workers who go on strike. He has already gotten in trouble for discrimination and racism in his businesses. It is well documented that his people, even over there at Twitter, work under terrible conditions, and he doesn't want any oversight over that. What do? You gut those first. And look, poof, all of the investigations that Elonia Muskrat's businesses were under, they just so happened to go away. So basically he went after his personal interests first. Then he started trying to actually cut stuff in the government that he thought was actual waste, fraud, and abuse. But by that time, he had used up all of his clout. And when he started trying to cut things in the Pentagon, the place where the last reconciliation bill added money to the Pentagon's budget, the same Pentagon that failed 7 audits in a row, that's when they really started ushering him out. But let's not get it twisted. Elonia Muskrat doesn't care about the budget. He pretends like he cares about the budget. But if he really did, he would have gone after the real waste, fraud, and abuse first. He didn't. He decided to take contracts away from Verizon so he could give them to Starlink and fire federal workers in departments that were either investigating him or had oversight over his companies. Now, 47 responded to all of those tweets of Elonia Muskrat. He basically said, hey, I should have Doge look at all the money we're spending on your contracts and your subsidies. Billions of dollars could be saved. And even insinuated Elonia Muskrat would be nothing without said contracts and would have to go back to South Africa. Oh, I'm here for that. Take away all the contracts and send them back to South Africa. Send the South African refugees with him. And then Elonia Muskrat responds with, that's what I'm saying, take it all. So he's basically daring him to do it. This saga is shaping up. Now, what I feel is going to be interesting is there's a couple of things that are going on behind the scenes. One, the DOJ is now saying that they are going to start prioritizing cases revoking naturalized citizenship. Elonia Muskrat is a naturalized citizen. SCOTUS, in all of their horrifying glory, has also decided to take up a case that the Republicans are bringing that challenges the restrictions of campaign finance. So the Republicans are arguing that the restrictions on campaign finances, where national party committees are restricted to how much they can support an individual campaign, they want that gone. I wonder if they are trying to gear up to fight Elonia Muskrat's challenges. Elonia Muskrat has already, for the past month now, been hinting at and outright saying that he is going to finance anybody who primaries the Republicans in office right now. I wonder if they're trying to prepare for that. And I don't trust that SCOTUS will do the right thing.